watching at home is exactly the same as if you were here with us today. Guys, are the personnel in place?
In position.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that David Copperfield started out doing the vanishing monuments and transport and all that kind of stuff. He made like the Statue of Liberty disappear, he made a train cart from the Orient Express disappear, he already made an aeroplane disappear. So the fact that this guy's making the space shuttle disappear is just kind of like a variation on what David Copperfield was doing throughout the 80s and 90s. It was kind of the thing to do at the time. There was big, spectacular disappearing illusions. I've only done it once myself. I did it with a limousine. When I was about 16 years old, I wanted to get on TV, so we did like a vanishing limousine kind of trick. But the thing about this is that when you're in a theatre watching it, it's completely different, because you could think, well, there's trapdoors, there's sort of like, it could be using curtains, there's all sorts of ways of manipulating the environment. Whereas when it's outdoors, it's very difficult to manipulate the environment, especially in broad daylight, because there's nowhere else for the object to go. The problem that I have with these kind of illusions is that, like the people are saying, is that it's very difficult to know how much the audience are in on it and how much there is camera trickery. So the whole time as a performer, you're trying to convince people that A, the audience don't know how the trick is done and they're not part of the act, and B, that it's a single camera shot, so that you know that if you were there as a person, you'd be experiencing exactly the same thing that you would do watching it on TV. And it's very difficult sometimes to be able to gauge what is actually real in these TV shows and what's been set up to be fake.
Here it goes. Ladies, raise the shield. Do it!
You see, something like that, it's just, there's certain magic tricks that are just too good to be true. And it's like, yeah, if it was happening right in front of me, I'd believe it. But this is one of those effects whereby you watch it, and just me personally as a magician, I just think, really, you know, I'd love to be there and see it. If I could be there and see it, I would be impressed. Making it disappear is impressive, that's an impressive effect, but the way they make it reappear is even more spectacular. And these guys used to do it every night on stage, sort of like, I mean, you shouldn't work with children or animals, but they work with elephants, tigers, leopards, all sorts of. This appearing elephant is just spectacular.
I'm back with you now, Andy. Right, see, I had a little walk around the studio. But if you wave at camera 5, the folks at home will see you, and then you know that one's live as well. 5 cameras, all right? Now, you've seen magicians say, pick a card, haven't you? Yeah. All right, a bit bigger than that, pick a camera, all right?
Okay, camera 4.
Camera 4.
So when you have something large vanish, like a monument or a transport, or in this case a video camera, like something that's really large, and there's a certain set of unique circumstances that have to come into play in order for the effect to occur, I've never really enjoyed that, because I like to be able to perform magic whereby if somebody says, oh, can you do this, and they give me a pack of cards, I can do something. And there are certain effects that you can do whereby you can do impromptu or spontaneously, like with the objects that you have around you, and there's other ones that you need to set up. So the type of magic that I like to do is stuff that I could do if I was given the objects to do them with. I don't like the idea of doing something, and this is where I cut out a lot of the effects that I used to do, doing things that required a trick prop or a box or an assistant or something other than me and my actual skill set. So that's one of the things when you're coming into learning about magic and thinking about what effects to select is very good criteria. It's sort of like, well, what would you do if somebody asked you to perform it? Could you perform the effect? And if the answer is no, then I always feel like, you know, it's kind of disappointing for the person, because you can't really do what you're saying you're doing. You can't anyway, but it'd be great if you could do a performance on demand. If you look at something like Paul Daniels is doing here, like the vanishing camera, and he's filming it, which is an ingenious idea to film it while it's in the box. You could do that nowadays with a mobile phone, and in fact Penn and Teller, that's one of the tricks that they do, is that they film the phone, and it's just great because it takes the same concept, but because the technology's come further along, it enables more people to be able to use this kind of style of magic, in the sense that you have accountability with the camera as it's being filmed as and when it disappears and reappears. It's really quite a unique concept. But you don't need a forklift truck, and you don't need a big box and a studio and balloons. You can just take somebody's mobile phone, make it disappear while it's recording, and make it reappear again.
I must do a camera trick. This is a trick with a camera. 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll be notified of our latest videos.